Okay, so AI, right? It's like everywhere you turn, boom, and there's a crazy new thing. And it's moving so fast, how do you even keep up?
You're telling me it's a lot. We're talking changes to basically everything, and it's only speeding up.
Exactly. So that's why we're doing this deep dive, where we're going to try and cut through the noise, the biggest stuff from Google, Meta, Amazon, the usual suspects, but also, like, where did this all even come from?
And that's the cool part. This isn't some, sci-fi fantasy anymore. AI is here now, changing things right now, and we're just starting to see how.
I like that. Not sci-fi. It's right here. And speaking of, Google's been be used wide. They're talking about making AI accessible to everyone, like globally. That's kind of wild, right?
It's huge GE if they can pull it off. Imagine a farmer in India with the same tools as some tech company in Silicon Valley. Of course, that's a big if, digital skills, infrastructure. It's not simple.
Feels like trying to catch lightning in a bottle sometimes.
Yeah.
But while we're on Google, have you checked out Notebook LM?
Yeah, it's a cool example of AI changing how we learn, really personalized.
Right. Like, upload some research paper, the kind that makes your eyes cross, and this AI will chat with you about the important parts. No more slogging through it all.
It's like having the information tailored to exactly how you learn best, which is huge when you think about it.
Your own personal tutor breaking it all down. Okay, ready for this? Google's also got this project. They're using AI to diagnose diseases just by sound. Bioacoustic modeling, they call it. Sounds like it's straight out of Star Trek.
Oh yeah, the HERE project is a great example. They're analyzing coughs to diagnose things like tuberculosis, way earlier than we could before. Think about it, you just cough in your phone and boom, you're screened for a serious illness.
Okay, that one kind of blew my mind. But shifting gears a bit, Meta's not sitting around either. They've got this AI chatbot thing now, and get this, you access it through sunglasses.
It's definitely a statement, right? Like they're going all in on this idea of AI being with you everywhere, integrated into everything, ready to help, always on.
Yeah, sunglasses giving you directions, telling you about the nearest coffee shop. It's very futuristic, but then it's like, whoa, hold on. How much of that is really what we want? How comfortable are we with an always-on AI,
It's that balance we always come back to, convenience versus privacy. And it's not just a general question, it's getting personal now. How much are we each willing to give up for these cool experiences?
Right. Like having all that info instantly is awesome, but is it worth it? Okay, got to talk about Amazon too. They're never far behind. They're always personalizing that shopping experience, and now they've got these AI shopping guides. Like having a personal shopper in your pocket all the time.
It's smart, tackles a real problem, decision fatigue. Think about how much time we spend online just scrolling, trying to choose between a million things. These guides are supposed to cut through that, say, hey, based on what we know, you'd probably like this.
No more endless scrolling, no more buyer's remorse. Sounds great, but then doesn't it kind of make you wonder if we're just letting AI decide everything for us? Like, are we losing the ability to even discover new things on our own?
Now that's a question, gets to the heart of it. AI as a tool versus AI making our choices for us. Where's the line? We got to figure that out as we go.
Absolutely. And that whole idea of AI working together, like Amazon's doing for shopping, but way bigger, that's where composite AI comes in. That's when things get really wild.
Oh, yeah. And we'll unpack that more in a bit. But before we get ahead of ourselves, got to give credit where it's due, right? The incredible minds that laid the groundwork for all of this.
Every good story needs its origin story. And the story of AI, well, let's just say it's a wild ride.
I mean, it really makes you think, right? Tracing AI back to the beginning, folks like John Hopfield, Geoffrey Hinton, they were working on this stuff decades ago, way before it was cool.
Like they were almost, I don't know, predicting the future, building something they couldn't even fully grasp yet.
Totally. Hopfield, he was all about associative memory, how our brains connect the dots to remember things. And he basically modeled that, made it so computers could do it too.
Whoa, so he helped computers think more like us. That's kind of freaky, but also amazing.
Right. And then you've got Hinton. He was huge in deep learning. That's teaching computers to learn from tons of data, like we learn from experience.
Okay, now that sounds familiar. Deep learning, that's behind a lot of what we're talking about today, right?
Bingo. Self-driving cars, those shopping recommendations, it all traces back to these guys, the groundwork they laid.
Makes you appreciate the long game, Research done years ago is shaping how we live now.
It really does. Shows how important that basic research is, even if we don't see what it will become right away. Who knows what's being worked on right now that'll change everything in 10, 20 years.
Exciting, but also a little intimidating. Makes you want to keep up, right?
Absolutely. Speaking of exciting, let's get back to that composite AI thing you mentioned. That's where things get really interesting.
Okay, so back up a sec. What is composite AI in plain English?
Imagine building a house. You wouldn't have one person do it all, right? You've got your builders, electricians, plumbers, all the experts.
Right, a whole team, each with their specialty.
Exactly. Composite AI, it's like that. Instead of one AI trying to do everything, you've got different ones working together, each the best at one thing.
So one AI might be great at like looking at pictures, another one's awesome at understanding language, and they team up to solve a big problem.
Exactly. And that's where the magic happens. You're combining their strengths, creating something way more powerful than any one AI could be alone.
Okay, now we're talking. So where are we seeing this in action? What kind of problems can it tackle?
Sky's the limit, really. Healthcare, for example. Imagine an AI system that looks at medical images, patient records, even your DNA to give you the most accurate diagnosis, personalized treatment plans.
No more guessing games, just straight to the solution. That'd be huge.
Right. Or think about, like, climate change. Composite AI could help us model it way more accurately, predict disasters, even come up with better ways to protect the environment.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. Solving real problems, making a difference. But, and I gotta ask, with great power comes great responsibility, right? This composite AI, it's powerful stuff. How do we make sure it's used for good?
$1 million question right there. And it's one we got to take seriously, no doubt.
Because it's not just about the tech, it's about how we choose to use it. That's on us.
100%. We have to make sure this stuff is built ethically, responsibly, with the right safeguards in place from the get-go.
Transparency is key.
Yeah.
We got to know how these systems work, what data they're using, even what biases might be hidden in there. Can't just trust it blindly.
Absolutely. And we got to make sure everyone benefits, not just a select few. Access, equity, inclusion, these things matter more than ever.
It's a lot to handle, but ignoring it isn't an option. This is a conversation we need to be having at LW before it's too late.
100% agree. The future of AI, it's not going to be decided for us. We're building it right here, right now.
Yeah, I think that's the key, right? It's not about being scared of AI. It's about making sure we're the ones in the driver's seat, steering it the right way.
Exactly. It's like we've got this incredible new tool. Now we got to figure out what to build.
Which brings me to you listening right now. We've covered some pretty mind-blowing stuff, right? AI diagnosing diseases just from sounds, personalized shopping buddies in our pockets, composite AI that can basically do anything. Kind of makes your head spin, huh?
It's a lot to take in, no doubt.
Yep.
And honestly, we're just scratching the surface here.
True, but here's the thing. You don't need to be a tech whiz to get this. Because AI, it's not some far-off thing anymore. It's here. It's N-now-W woven into our lives already, whether we realize it or not.
And the more we know, the more we understand, the better we can navigate this whole new world.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we will leave you with one last thought. Think about your life, right here, right now. What part of your world do you think AI is going to change the most in the next 5 years? How did that make you feel?
Yeah.
Exciting? Scary? Both?
It's a good question to sit with, maybe even talk about with your friends, family. The more we discuss this stuff, the better we understand what AI really means for us. The good and the bad.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So stay curious out there, keep asking those questions, and thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the wild world of AI.